How's it going, everybody? Rob with RGF Media here. I just finished up the game, the Jets and Patriots. Jets win by a score of 17-3. So here's kind of my thoughts about the game and the season overall, and kind of what's coming next. So as we know, the Jets ended a 15-game losing streak to the New England Patriots today, again by a score of 17-3. Breece Hall absolutely went off, 37 rushes, 178 yards, and a touchdown. Just a couple of thoughts on it, though. One, I wasn't a big fan of Breece touching the ball that many times, especially when you saw players like Garrett Wilson, Joe Tippmann, really important key pieces on this team go out and get hurt in this game. Garrett Wilson looked like he might have gotten a concussion. Tippmann, I didn't see any news or update on that yet, whether it was a knee, ankle, hip, foot, whatever the case might be. Haven't seen anything else on that, but especially when we had Izzy in there too, it kind of made more sense to give more carries to Izzy, especially when you were ahead and you saw that the Patriots defense really couldn't do anything. To me, it would have just made more sense to give more carries to Izzy, see Breece around that 20 carry mark. That even might have been a little too high. Just because him coming off the knee injury, the ACL injury, in the slippery, snowy conditions, you don't want anything to happen to him. But he turned out he was didn't get hurt. He was okay. Belichick going out on a loss to the New York Jets, probably his last game as a New England Patriot head coach. There's some speculation whether he'll just be done for good. He'll even want to coach on the team. Whether he just will find something else to do. But to me personally, I don't think he's done coaching. He's had way too much success in this league, especially, with 6 Super Bowls, all the AFC titles, all the accolades that come with it. I don't think he's done. I think he's probably going to find somewhere warmer weather. The first place that comes to mind is the Chargers out west in LA, brand new stadium, you can argue a top 10 quarterback, a good roster, just poorly managed. So I think if he can come in, kind of instill his discipline and really the Patriot way, I guess it would be, then the Charger way into that team, hopefully insert a little spark into him and help them get a little more success than they have been. Obviously, they fired Brandon Staley a few weeks ago. Their position's wide open. You also hear rumors about maybe Jim Harbaugh going over to the Chargers. I think that would be a great move for them too. Right now, I think the Chargers are just in a really good position to pick up a head coach that they like. But going back to the Jets and Patriots, it was an ugly game, absolutely ugly, as you can imagine. There's a lot of runs, a lot of punts. Nothing that particularly stood out besides Breece Hall really putting the team on his back and getting that W, especially putting the game away with that last touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter. Got a little chippy at times, especially near the end there. There was a lot of chippiness between Irv Charles and Schooner from the Patriots on special teams. You had that little incident with Quincy Williams getting his helmet ripped off at the end of the game. And that kind of sparking something. It was just a chippiness all the way around. It wasn't a game that I would necessarily, in hindsight, put my Sunday on pause to go watch. But, a win's a win. But moving forward, I don't really think that this win really means a lot much. Me personally, I didn't really care for a loss or a win. Just because it didn't matter. The Jets are out of it. They've been out of it for a few weeks now. It's a meaningless game. Really, I just kind of wanted the Jets to go into this game, not have any injuries. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But, going forward, moral victories don't carry over into next season. So I have a lot of reservation about this team, like I stated in my previous videos. I think most of it really does have to do with the coaching staff and this management of this team, because you look at teams like the Houston Texans and Indianapolis Colts, who've turned their teams around extraordinarily fast. Teams like the Rams, who started out really slow, but then, found some success and really put together a strong season for the position they were in. Teams all over the league who, like the Browns, had offensive line issues, obviously quarterback issues, issues that the Jets are dealing with too, and they found a way to overcome that, prevail, and scheme around their deficiencies. And it just seems like the Jets they can't do that. I went into my Nate Hackett's comments about Breece Hall, my last video, and just how mind-numbingly dumb they were. If they are true, if you really didn't know how productive Breece Hall was, or if you at the end of the season you're saying, yeah, I gotta work, maybe I have to work harder. Those aren't very positive reinforcements going into next season. I don't think that gives anybody the warm and fuzzy feeling that they were maybe looking for. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of accountability. Saleh just, he can't. It just seems like he's unable to coach a winning organization, especially when you have other teams like the Texans and the Colts who have turned their seasons around. You can argue with less, especially the Texans, but they're finding a way to win, to run the organization. Now we're going to year 4 with Rob Saleh, and I mean, like I said, the only excuse, well, not excuse, but the only solution that they really have is that, well, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I mean, if it were up to me, I would let Saleh go. I know him. I know Rodgers really respects him and likes him and everything else. But if you're telling me the only way that this organization could be successful is with a Hall of Fame quarterback who's 40 years old, who you might have for possibly 2 years. I think it's just 1, but possibly 2 years. Then what happens after that? We've not only seen what he can do as a head coach, meaning Saleh, but we've seen what he can't do without a Hall of Fame quarterback, and that's really win consistently. To me, it makes no sense because, like I said, what are you going to do post Rodgers then? Are you just going to roll it back with the same coaching staff and see, maybe they learn from the mistakes, or are you going to find a new staff? So that to me is that's what I would do, especially if guys like Harbaugh are really available, looking to come to NFL, or even someone like Tomlin. There's the rumors that the Steelers were looking to let him go or trade him. Now they're not. Then they were. Then they're not. Then they are. So inquire about that. But I mean, if I'm Woody Johnson, I'm kind of eating crow, admitting that was a mistake and doing what's best for the organization. But at the same time, Woody doesn't want to give up power at all. Which makes no sense to me because this team hasn't been successful in 13 years. But, that's neither here and there. That's for another time to go deeper into that. But, the Jets win. They end on a high note. Whether you want them to win or lose, that's what happened. They won 17-3. Again, I really could have cared less, to be honest. Didn't mean anything to me. You had players go out there, important key players, and still get hurt. So, we'll probably hear more about that stuff coming up and what their possible, solutions are for the season ahead of us. Yeah, but again, Jets won 17-3. They end Belichick's tenure with a loss to the Jets, who he absolutely hates. We'll see what happens next. Till then, see you next time.